is up, you bunch of crazy bastards? Welcome to the final podcast of 2016. End of the fucking year is already here. We've come a long way as a company. We've done a lot of amazing things that people didn't think we were gonna do. Fuck, man, we got one damn race left to talk about. I didn't even realize we had gone through that much lore already. That's insane. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that tonight. A couple notes that I've got here that I have to read because I have to. This podcast was done for... My mic's messing up. Fuck you, Steel. Fuck off. I hate your ass, Steel. Ah, man. This podcast wasn't going to happen. TX Bongo said that he wanted to... Fuck you too, Armor. Wanted to see another podcast for the year, and then the asshole went and had plans and shit, had a life and shit. So I don't think TX Bongo is going to be here. At least that's what he said. Something about the tide. I think he's like Hawaiian or something. I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. It was very cryptic. I think he might be in danger, and it was a quest, and I might have failed the conversation part of the quest. So, oh well, training, right? Also, if Zags is here, I don't know if Zags is here, but I told him I'd give him the shout out. I was playing D&D, not this last Friday before that, actually after our podcast, and was pissed off at the night in general, right? I was just having a really long fucking day. And so, okay, it's locked. And so, this whole scenario had happened where this dark elf had kind of lit the tavern on fire that we were inside of, and I said something really stupid, and it was, can I do a dance that swoons all the ladies into coming out the fire? Like literally coming on the fire and putting it out? He told me, just instantly said, roll acrobatics, bluff, and perform dance or something like that. I rolled a 24, a 23, and a 20. So I put out... As a bard in D&D, I put out a fire with the cum of the surrounding women. That's how fucking awesome I am. Alright, so let's talk about the state of the game real quick. State of the game. We got a few things, right? I should probably put that as state of the company instead of state of the game because we're not just one game anymore. State of the company. If you hear any banging around, the stairs to the upstairs is right there. Still not in a fucking dungeon. All right, so I know, right? So world building. Got in touch with the world building team. They corrected the issue that was causing the final compile to go out. I don't know how much I had gotten into last week or last time. There was a final compile issue, too many trees, collision and shit. I think he tried to overdo the world, overpopulate it with fauna and shit. So there was an issue with that. They've remedied that. They're working on replacing the rest of the world. They didn't have to start from scratch, but they've now got to finish putting all the fauna in the world. Not as much this time, we hope. Yeah. And they'll be ready to send that over. I don't think it's going to be here by Christmas. I told you guys I wasn't expecting it till January, February. Anyways, they're telling me now, end of December. That's another 2 weeks on top of what they had already told me. So, add another 2 weeks to a month to what I told you. We do have a portion of that build that our developers are now able to get into and work with, but I can't show you shit yet because it's not functioning yet, unfortunately. All right, so next is Sacrament Tabletop RPG. For those of you not aware, we are an unfunded motherfucking company. Guess fucking what? Funding's got to come from somewhere, and if we're not going to sell our soul, we're likely not going to be able to get in bed with banks and publishers. Let's be serious about that. Let's also be serious about the fact that no matter how much fucking people there are in the gaming industry, crowdfunding is probably not likely to happen. Even though the idea is there, the concepts are sound, the fucking company is highly organized, and we're rolling. People are still, they don't give a fuck about the game. People want to see a goddamn genius or a supposed genius in the fucking spot. A name they recognize. Even though they ain't built shit for 10 years and the things that they have built are absolute fucking trash, they'd still rather see that than the fucking game itself. So we can't rely on crowdfunding. So we have to become funded. So Sacrament Tabletop RPG, that's got one element left to be added to it. It's more tedious than anything. I just have to go through, add all the class abilities for the individual classes. It's just typing shit out, really more copy paste and typing shit out. And then we start testing that. If you're interested in testing the tabletop RPG, let me know. You got my email. You got shit all over the place. Fucking hit up the volunteer form below and go right into that and specify you want to test the tabletop. I'll probably talk more about the tabletop our next podcast, which will be January 16th. So 1 month from now. Children of the Centaur, the Sacrament card game, another item that we're going to utilize to help create a fucking empire here, to help fund the project, is all ready to go. We've started aggressively seeking other people to add to that project. So we're busy bees over here. We're not fucking around. All right, so let's get to... I can't pass the conversation portion of a quest. I can fucking manage a damn corporation, but I failed the conversation part of the quest. All right, so let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Two things, right? One is the boring shit nobody wants to hear about, and that's IR. I'm just kidding. I know there are people out there who want to hear about this. The other is, because it's Christmas coming up, if you celebrate, or Hanukkah, whatever fucking holiday you celebrate, I don't give a fuck. Happy whatever it is to you. Because of that, I'm not going to do a Lay's rant this time, for the most part. A dedicated rant, I guess. I'm going to instead, I think I might have already done a rant. I'm going to show you the map of the game world. I told those who were here last time that I was going to show you our internal map, which is kind of going to become an external map, but it's not the official map, okay? We're going to have professionals come in and draw up the fucking map, all right? I feel like I've got to preface that, even though assholes are still going to take it out of fucking context like a bunch of dumb shits. Fucking internet's full of idiots, I swear to God. All right, so IR41, let's get down to fucking business. I know you're interested in Landakian, but you need more time than 5 fucking minutes. All right, so let's talk about Ellissia. This is another one of our gods. This one is the Aqueous Legion. We are almost done with our gods too. We got 4 more to talk about, and that's it. Ellissia is really straightforward. I did talk to Dr. Lore about punishment because it's not actually covered here. But she ban hammer before it starts. I don't think you ban people from a tabletop, right? They just go fucking play it themselves. Anyway, so punishment for the followers was not covered in here, and I'm one of the people that I kind of want to see how people are being punished. So it's not covered in here, but Dr. Lore said it's along the same lines as Shamner. They'll punish somebody who goes against their shit same way. They will kill somebody. Don't fuck with them just because they're hippies. Here is the imagery for Ellissia. We do have a nude version, I guess we can call it that, a more artistic version. How about that? On the website, we decided to go with the cover-up one only because we don't want to take every fucking opportunity we've got and show nipple. But I think that this one was actually slightly better than the other one. Not to say her nipples were bad. I just felt like, I don't know, myself and Adora both agreed. And Adora, for those of you who remember Adora, co-founder, also leads the art department, both agreed that we just felt overall this image, I don't know, the covered up section just had more life to it. Not by much, only by a tiny little bit, but it was just all around better. So we went with that. But she will walk around in the dude more times than not. As you can see, she could use plants, leaves, shit like that to cover herself up if she wants to. That said, you're going to see her nude more times in the game than you will covered up. That's not like that with all of our deities, but this is the Aqueous Legion. For those that are not aware, we chose the name Aqueous because it was really close to peaceful or calm. I can't remember what the Roman translation. It was a rough translation. I can't remember it right off the top of my head. I've got it on a document over here, but I've got the map queued up and I don't want to lose that. So, yeah, so she flirts a lot. She's got a little bit of love triangle going on. For those that have already read this, you know this. She got a little bit of a love triangle going on between Nysak and I believe it's Shamner. Yes, and Shamner. And we actually went through and fixed some other lore. I believe it was a Shamner lore that had a piece in there that could have suggested that maybe that was just rumor. Dr. Lore wanted to get rid of the rumor altogether and just make it kind of a known thing that there was a love triangle there. So Dr. Lore put together this ode. I don't know if this is the long one. I think it might be. I think it is. I think this is the longer one. It's basically, so Geldir, for those of you who remember, is the leader of the other legion, one of the other legions, Tenebris Legion, which is Chaos Legion, had a chance to have a relationship with Ellissia. She's a lover of all. She doesn't give a shit. And by lover, I mean sexual, not like hippie-esque. And his response was basically this. So, no, thank you. I saw what you've done to your lovers. I'm not fucking interested. And that was about it. Again, if you've got questions about any of this shit, let me know. Wood Elves. So Wood Elves. I can't wait to get landscape 2D concept artists. Right now the focus is creature 2D concept artists because we've got a second modeler coming in now for creature design, and they are all intense, so we want to give them plenty of work to do. Right now I think we've got 70 different creatures or something, 30 creatures, and then 70 total hostile type NPCs, 73 or something like that. So and we haven't even tried yet. So, and I mean that we haven't tried yet. We created a few, but no, I'm not going to show it, Landakian. If you want to check it out, go check it out, perv. The channel's rated mature, so if you're not old enough to be here, you shouldn't be here. All right, so the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves are a little different than other cultures in that they've got a massive city. All right, they built it up in the treetops, but they only really go to the city twice a year. One time of the year is to celebrate the passing of their people, and the other time is to celebrate the birth of their people. And by their people, I mean those that have died and been born between the year that they have not been there. There's a few fun things about the city itself you guys will learn as we go through. I'm actually not going to go over this information right here. You can skim this for yourself. I just want to talk about my favorite shit about the Wood Elves. There's a lot of information here. Dr. Lore knows I don't go too in depth here. But so they've got this massive city, and this is going to be one of the starting zones, one of the starting cities, not zones, one of the starting cities. And the trees, we were just talking about this in our team meeting. The trees are, I think 50 meters wide and 500 meters tall. These fucking things are massive, all right? Almost a half a mile in total height. Fucking things are enormous. They might be taller than that. I feel like they're taller than that. So, but the reason the trees are built up there is because the forest the Wood Elves live in are a very naturally hostile place. You know, you've got a lot of wildlife that's hungry. There's a high functioning food chain and hierarchy that they don't disturb because it's a part of the forest. Entire game on it? No, not even close. Fuck, dude. Those trees don't even make up 10% of our fucking landscape. Please, you'll see in a minute. I'll point the Wood Elves location out on that map. Remind me. So one of the things about this is it's so high up that people come and visit the city, and with the events that are happening around beta, end of beta, beginning of the game, a lot more people are going to start flocking to the city to do business. It becomes a centralized location. There's a lot of lore and story around this that you're going to discover, but one of the things is there's a lot of newcomers to the city, a lot of people that aren't used to moving around in a city like this. It's not high walls and building structures and stuff like that. This is a lot of open areas, and the Wood Elves have primarily been the main inhabitants of the city, even though the majority of them tend to return to their living places, their tribal living places. There's always a selected amount of wood elves from each of the tribes that stay back and maintain the city. So the city's very well taken care of. There's a part of it that's been rented out for a while to kind of a military scientific setting. That's a huge part of the game. It's actually a high tier part of the game that'll kick your ass. So as these newcomers are up there walking around, what the Wood Elves have done is created two types of scouts now that sit below the platforms on the supports that hold these great platforms up. One of them looks for danger. That's their focus. The other one is a jumper. They've got a vine attached between them and the tree itself. And anybody that falls over the edge, these jumpers will dive after them and catch them because, I mean, if they make it all the way to the ground, they're dead. So, but they're the jump patrol or some, I don't know. We haven't really called it anything yet, but it's one of my favorite things about the city is it's got a designated jump team, whether it's for, people jumping for suicide or people who lose their footing and fall off the edge or whatever the case may be. They've got an entire crew of Wood Elves now that jump after the players. So if you jump off these platforms, what's going to happen is you will be caught by a Wood Elf and return to the platform itself. So you can't jump from the height of these trees and build your safe fall or some shit like that. There's no jumping allowed. The Wood Elves will always catch. There's no exceptions. They keep their practice going. So, all right. So that's the Wood Elves. I'm not supposed to use backspace, but I don't give a shit. All right. Skill system. Skill system. For those of you who've been around the MMO space for 15 years, you're very familiar with a skill system. We're bringing it back. I know it's been taken out of because it's extra work for the players. Fuck that dumb shit. Players love that kind of shit. The players we're interested in love that kind of shit. They love being able to identify the skills of their character, build them up, and make them renowned. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody's going to have mastered abjuration skill. Not everybody should be able to just pick up an abjuration spell and go with it. Same thing with a sword. You shouldn't just be able to pick up a one-handed sword and swing it and be the most effective there is. You need to work out, the kinks and shit. Learn what you're doing. And so the skill system's in place for that particular event. And we've got two types of skills. We've got passive skills and active skills. Passive skills are skills that happen while you're doing things. All right. So if you use an ability to jab somebody and you're holding a dagger, you're going to enhance your one-hand piercing skill. If you jump off a ledge and you're building your save fall, it's a passive skill. It's something that happens because of something else you've done. A active skill is one that you have to activate directly, okay? Pick lock is something that you directly activate. You are specifically performing this action to pick a lock. Pick pockets the same way. Yes, you're going to be able to pick people's pockets. Yes, you will get fucked up by city guard if you fail. No, we don't have a minigame in place for advanced pickpocket or pick lock, but now that I'm saying it, I don't think it'll come out at launch, all right? But we will eventually put it in the game. We do have limitations. I know we seem like we're hyper ambitious and we don't care about limitations. We do care a little bit about limitations. Steal, stab yourself, man. Fuck. Yeah, I can't even fall by dolly. Die by falling. Go somewhere else and jump. Just not this place. You can absolutely die by falling, so fuck off, Landakian. I got more trolls here. Kempo's not even here right now, and they still trolling the shit out of me. This is my team. Well, Landakian's not my team. He's just a gaming friend. Bastard. All right. So, for active skills, these are going to be skills where you'll actually put a button on your bar or directly interact with an object with the only intent of performing that action. All right. So, Sense Trap is a button you're going to have. I don't know that we're doing sense heading. That's definitely an old school skill sense direction, whatever the hell you want to call it. We might. I don't see why not. It's kind of important. Now I'm wondering why it's not in there. It might be. Shit. Now I got to check the tabletop RPG. I think there was a skill in there that seemed a little iffy, anyways, that I might replace with that. So, all right. So the skills are pretty straightforward. Active, passive. One happens as an effect of performing an action that's not directly that action. The other happens as an act of performing that action. Leveling skills. So, because of our tier system, leveling items other than your character is a little different, right? It's not just straight up level all the way up. You will have a cap. Right now, we're sitting at a total of 2,000 skill points. All right, that's 100 per tier. It's not that big a deal. If we brought it down to 50 per tier or 20 per tier, it would be the same fucking thing. It would just scale slightly differently. The math allows you to perform whatever. We would have the same leveling scale here regardless of how we did it. So, well, it would be a little rougher in the lower ends, honestly. So, what happened here is skill in tier 1 requires 1 point of experience to get to the next level. All right. So if your skill level 1, to get to skill level 2, you have to perform the skill 1 time effectively. All right. It has to be effective. If you swing at something and miss, that's not effective. You didn't fucking do shit. If you try to pick a lock and fail, it's not effective. You didn't fucking do shit. So as long as you perform an effective action, you can level that skill up. There will be some skills where we are going to discuss a little quicker advancement, right? A couple more experience points per. That'll get you a few more levels, like picking pockets. I mean, you're talking about at tier 20 needing 2,000 successful attempts to level it up. That's not bad, but it's pretty fucking harsh, right? We want to make sure that it's not unreasonable, that it is still something that players want to do. 2,000 attempts just to get from 19,000 to 2,000 skill points is pretty insane. So these will be conversations we have. Player feedback will be huge on these. If players don't really give a shit, they feel like it's worth it, then we're all about it. We do have passives lined up for hitting certain milestones, as well as you level up the skill, certain things become a little easier. You get a little bit more reaction time, or the actions that you perform are more efficient, so you get a lot more out of what you're doing. And all of that's going to be dependent on what you're utilizing, what you're doing in the moment. So I got a lot of things to tell you guys in January. Oh, I'm going to have to build that. I'm going to have to split it up because I got a lot of things to talk about. All right, so that's the skill system. Does anybody have any questions about our skill system? Pretty basic. If you're not familiar with how the skill system works, jump into EQ1, Final Fantasy 11, pretty much any of the classics, and go into combat. You'll see by performing these actions, you start leveling skills up and you become a little bit more efficient. I mean, it's only a little bit per point, but you become a little bit more efficient as you're utilizing these things. So you won't really see the problem with not leveling stuff up unless you have a max level character in some of these games. So you'll miss a lot with a one-handed sword, or in our case, you'll be far less efficient with a one-handed sword if you have 0 points in the skill, or 1 point, because you're always going to start at 1 point in the skill line. All right, so I'm not seeing any questions about any of that. Let's talk about our map then, yeah? All right, so before I showcase the map here, I'm going to preface this with a few things. This is done on paint. This was a reference for us so that we could begin to picture our world, so we could understand our world, so we can start building lore, pinpointing where races were going to be, determining where capital cities were going to be, how tier progression was going to work, where tier zones were going to be, dungeons were going to be. We needed a map to do a lot of these things. For anybody who's ever built anything in depth, like a fucking D&D campaign, without a map, you can't do any of this shit. You can make it up, but it's going to get confused. And by the time you sit down and get a map, none of it's going to make sense. You're going to wind up with a city that should be north of this one, but south of this one. And it gets all fucked up. So the map was a reference point. Up until this point, it's been an internal document. But you guys asked for it, so I'm going to give it to you. This is not the final project, all right, or the product. We will have a team coming in who specializes in map building, who will build a professional-looking version of this map. I can't fucking say that enough. In this copy, the northwest section has nothing on it. That's fine. That's for this copy. All right. I might pull up another copy of it, but I don't know that I should. No, I'm not going to pull up another copy on it. You're just going to have to deal. All right. So the northwest section is our raid section, our tier. That's actually tier 17 through 20 up there. Tier 16, I'll show you when I get to the map. All right. Let's pull this fucking map up. For those of you fucking idiots who still don't understand that, who are going to talk shit, thank you for showing the world you're fucking stupid. Okay, here we go. You see in the map. So this is our game space. All right? It's fucking massive. Can you see my mouse? You can see my mouse. Okay, so roughly from the top of the T here to the point down here, it's less than that. We'll go bottom of the T down to here is 10 kilometers. All right, this is roughly. I have it on a different map. I just don't want to pull up the other map because it's got sensitive information I'm not ready for you guys to see. And by sensitive information, I mean lore story elements that you'll probably fucking pick apart and ruin the story for before we get there. So, all right. So as you can see, it's a massive fucking map. All right, you're talking about. Currently, we have players moving. Shit, why is that not pulling up the bottom? Oh shit! All right, let's redo you. Can I redo the range? I can't. Here, let's just. All right, we'll delete you. I said delete you, motherfucker. No, remove. Add screen capture. So we're gonna go here. Down to here. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, cut me off a little. I don't really give a shit. Okay. So this is our map. Yeah, you can see the bottom there. That's fine. From lowest point down here to highest point up here, moving at a rate of it's 6 meters per second, 5 meters per second walking, 8.5 meters per second running. I believe the estimate was like 2.5 hours to run a straight line from the bottom of the Forbidden Wastelands to the top of Chillwind Tundra. That's without a mount, any run speed bonuses, any of that shit. We will have a form of travel that will suffice in the world. We won't have fast travel the way that ESO has fast travel, some shit like that. We've discussed fast travel and kind of put the conversation off. If we do a fast travel system, it'll be based on our deity system, the religious system, I guess we can call it, because not just deities over on this part of the world, but it'll be based on the religious system and it'll be spread out. So instead of, let's say, in Elder Scrolls, let's say Forbidden Waste, one zone, you'd be able to teleport to like 5 or 6 different locations in the Forbidden Waste. The way that this would work is instead of that, say you would include Tarvel's Run, Dry Expanse, Forbidden Waste, and there would be like a teleport station right here. Maybe even just this whole southern section right here. Kazakaz Forest, Troftheim, Korthor Wilds, Thundering Plains. All of that would have one teleport place and you would have to run from there or something like that. So we haven't exactly figured it out. We don't talk about that too much. That's something that, you're talking fucking alpha beta type content. All right, so Let's talk about our regions here real quick. Up north here is our northern region. So when you see on our website, when you see under races, get off, fuck off, northern races right there, this is what we're talking about. Everything from Dark Dusk Harbor on up is northern races, all right? The below Dark Dusk Harbor, all the zones here, including Deepwater Peninsula, and everything on this side, on the east, why is my camera inverted like that? I have to fix that shit. On the east side of Rohine Flatlands is the southern races, and everything to the west here in the area we call the Fist of the Gods, that's the western races. So now you get a little bit more visualization on this shit. So our game, our basic combat build is going to take place over in the Fist of the Gods right here in the High-Rise Basin. And the High-Rise Basin, for those that read the lore, is mostly dominated by trolls as far as sentient creatures. There's a lot to the zone, Like, we're going to have music for this area very soon that we're going to be adding to our... You can't see... Oh, shit. I apologize. Let's do that again. Take two. All right, so everything... Fuck. My bad. I forgot to click over. Everything north, everything Dark Dusk Harbor and north is our northern races. All right? This is your dwarves and Ursa, moon elves, stuff like that. Some of the humans. Everything south of Dark Dusk Harbor, including Deepwater Peninsula, Abysmal Sea, and east of right here where the Rohine Flatlands are, everything in this region right here is what we call the southern region, all right? And the tree city I was talking about is right here in Trothine, right in this giant, you can see this massive fucking forest. These are living trees, not fully sentient, but sentient enough, all right? Wood elves, nymphs, oaken, jaguar, what else we got? Fae, brownies, they all live in this region over here. All right, they tend to function together for the most part. And then everything west of this line on the east of the Rohine Depths, all of this is our western region. So now when you see it on our website, you can kind of understand. Did I lose chat? There's just no chat in the box for whatever. I don't know why this clears out sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. It shouldn't clear out from pain to pain, but it does. All right, so this area, when I was telling you, this is the area we call the Fist of the Gods. All right, Steel Deal actually came up with that reference. So, and we ran with it because it works. Again, future for reference, this is our raid area. All right, it does have terrain layout. It's just not on this map. I don't know why it's not on this map. I just didn't put it on this fucking map. It's on this map. Tier 17, 18, 19, 20, and then tier 16 is actually underneath the ocean area right here. It's a very dark cavern, very deep cavern underground. Have fucking fun getting through it. All right, so the game for basic combat build is actually going to take place over here in the High-Rise Basin. Like I said, the trolls are the dominant sentient species up here, but there's a lot more going on here. You've got monkey-type mammals that love to fuck with people. This is one of the few places where water exists as a full-body element. All right, we have replaced water as a primary element with a different element, one that we actually created. I worked with the biochemist who I went to the gym with, and designed it, and it looked a lot like water, which was good because we wanted it to replace water as a major component. So for the nerds, hyper nerds here, the creatures on this planet are actually not water-based biology. It's a different element, and we'll reveal that element later when we're ready to reveal it. So this is one of the few places where water has not been, I don't want to say torn apart, but kind of replaced by this element. Replaced isn't a good word either. This is a really old map back before we included this element, so you still see rivers and streams heading outwards. These are not water. All of this right here is that other element. This is about the only place where you're going to find a heavy buildup of water itself. And it's only because of the natural archaeology in this area. All the geology and everything going on in this particular area. The high-rise basin itself sits, I think it's about 400 meters above this coastline here. All this brown that you see out here, this is all ocean. So the high-rise basin sits well above all of that, okay? Well above. The water coming off here falls into the ocean area. We're going to refer to it as an ocean for now, even though it's not. And immediately kind of breaks apart. The molecules break apart and become this other element sets in and takes place of the water. And that element actually is not in this area. It's not underground where this water's pulling up from. So the water breaks apart. Most of the water molecules that allow the water to be a complete element kind of get displaced back into the terrain here and rise above because they're obviously lighter than the landscape. Rise back into this pool and continue to kind of cycle themselves back in. And motherfuckers say we don't know lore and shit. Fuck you. All right, so this is the area that the level builders are designing right now. One of the smaller areas in the game, as you can tell. I mean, we've got the Abysmal Sea, Snow Helm. I think every game's got a fucking Snow Helm. Sugov Grotto over here. But this is one of the smaller areas. Crawler Peaks is actually part of Dark Dusk Harbor. Don't get it twisted. It's just really high. This is the current home of the dwarves. They had a pretty good home going here. They had some here, even a little in these mountains over here. But this is currently where they reside. And there's a lot of things that happened over the history of the last 10,000 years that kind of pushed them into the Crawler Peaks themselves. And these are things that will slowly be uncovered over the next couple of years through lore, through books we publish and things that we release to you, small little side games, little fun things that we give you guys to do. So we want to keep you guys as involved as possible. So that's the high-rise base in a nutshell. You've got the monkey-type critters who kind of harass wanderers and fishermen who are not native to this area. The trolls know these critters are assholes. They're not hostile per se, like they're not hyper-aggressive, but they'll steal your shit and put it in other places just because they love fucking with people. There are hive-like insects in the area. You've got a lot of smaller ground-based insects in the area. This is a tier 4. I'm pretty sure it was tier 4 or tier 6 zone. So it's not immediately hostile, but it will begin to offer a little bit more challenge to players as they learn more about the landscape. High-rise basin. So you're probably looking at this right and saying, all right, you got 20 tiers, 3 zones per tier. That is not enough fucking place for 60 fucking zones. You're absolutely right. One of our game design philosophies was high-rise basin. Let's call it a tier 6 zone. In high-rise basin, it's either here or here. I think it's down here. Is a very old, abandoned, large mansion-like structure that's haunted to all fuck. That area is a tier 14 area, I believe it is. So players will come back to the high-rise basin to enter the tier 14 overworld dungeon, explore this mansion, the underground, everything above and around it, its entire area, which is going to be just as big as the rest of these zones here. They're going to come back to the high-rise basin to continue their progression. We wanted a way to bring players close together without separating them and thinning them out. And so we figured, well, why not reuse some of the space that never gets fucking used? So that's what we came up with. And we like it. We think it's pretty ingenious. It's one of the things Rick actually helped us talk about and design. So a little bit of love goes out to Rick for helping us establish that. And yeah, so I don't really think there's much else. I can't see chat right now, so I don't know if anybody's talking. I do apologize if it's not showing up on my screen. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about with this. So this is our map. Fuck. I don't want to put a piece of this up. Here, I need to pull up the damn... No, Stop that. Stop it. All right. I just need to verify chat's not fucked up. Because if you guys are asking important questions, I would love to be able to answer them. So, where's the mute button? Give me my mute button. Mute button. Mute. Ah, shit. I can't tell. All right. So if you're saying something now in chat, I'll be able to see it now. But I'm going to pause the video. I don't need to run the video and stream the fucking video. All right. So that's everything on that. The basic design philosophy of our world. You can now kind of get a glimpse of the size of our world. I don't want to put this on the website because there are always going to be those hyper fucking retarded people that are going to go out and say, oh, look, Sacrament's building such a professional game. This is their game map. It's done in paint, man. Like, I'm not even a fucking artist. I couldn't draw a straight line if you gave me a ruler and a pencil that only drew fucking straight lines, okay? I am bad with art. Absolutely fucking atrocious. And I did this. Steel helped me design the map itself. Rick actually created the outline of everything and sent that to us. That was the first part. And then we just made a bunch of notes. And then Steel and I sat down one day and said, all right, we need regions and we need information on what's going on. Okay, you know what? So this is a zone I talk about all the time. Let's talk about this one real quick. Crystalline Flatlands. And this was something that was huge for us. We need to define these regions and make this unique game. I'm sure you guys are right now thinking, right, Silver Fields looks like snow. It's not, but it is snow covered, but that's not why it's a Silver Fields. But over here, Deepwater Peninsula at this altitude is fucking covered in snow. These mountains are actually covered in snow. This is not. There's a massive volcano and ground break over here. None of this is covered by snow. Very well heated. Crystalline Flatlands is a tier areas clear where one ends and another starts. Nope. You'll be able to tell by looking at mobs for the most part. As you advance through tiers, or as mobs become higher in tier, they group up. They're not fucking idiots anymore. I'm used to getting a few wanderers, but for the most part, they'll group up unless they're designed to be antisocial creatures. We've got this whale type creature type. It's fucking huge, but it travels on its own unless it's mating season. At that point in time, you'll see like 10 of them together, and we plan on having them procedurally go through those cycles. So there's going to be times when you want to hunt these mobs for, maybe they drop skin that you want or items that you want specifically for crafting, where they're going to be grouped up in groups of 4 to 10. And then there's the other times of the year where they're going to be isolated and by themselves. So no, there's not a clear line where one tier ends and another begins. But that's because we want players more involved in paying attention to the world and not fucking zone lines. So right now, the primary focus is making sure, and we absolutely believe we can do this. Everything we've seen says we can. Making sure that all of this is seamless, that you don't have to zone into individual zones. That means on our end, we have to create high pixel models, mid pixel models, low pixel models for background rendering, obviously. But it's a process, a part of creating the game. We have a goal in mind. We want to achieve that goal. We need to do something to achieve that goal, and that's what we do. Anyways, Crystalline Flatlands. So the Crystalline Flatlands typically would be absolutely covered in snow. Would be almost as bad as Showwind Tundra, but it wouldn't be as thick. All right. The difference here is the Crystalline Flatlands is covered in these crystals that dig very far down into the planet's core. Or not into the core, but close to the planet's core. These crystals, if you've ever worked with crystals, these crystals absorb heat. They don't necessarily shoot out heat or anything crazy like that, but they do absorb heat. They're not resistant to heat, and they retain it very well. They've been absorbing heat for more than 10,000 years since this planet was created. So they've got a lot of residual heat, and that residual heat is kind of pushing off, and it's a lot of heat that's pushing off. So this area without these crystals would be, about 10 degrees Fahrenheit on an average day. With these crystals, they're a lot closer to about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The weather above is still, it still snows, but as you look up, as the heat rises and then dissipates and meets that cold air, because the cold's not just going to fucking disappear, and the crystals aren't putting off enough to absolutely get rid of the heat or the snow or the cold atmosphere. It's just kind of staying it off a little bit, staying it off of the ground. As you look up, what you're going to be able to see is snow falling, melting, and then evaporating because of that heat before it reaches the ground. So the crystalline flatlands don't ever change. That's why they're green, because the grass is green. There is enough substance. Remember, this is not a water-based biology. There is enough substance that it will maintain its green nature. So, anything else? I don't know if there's anything else. I can tell you all about this damn map, but it's going to bore the shit out of most of you. So, I am very passionate and very, very nerd-driven about this game. So, I've got a lot of... You could ask me about any fucking region in this damn map, and I could tell you everything about it. So there's a reference in our lore that we've talked about openly, where a part of the planet, remember the planet's got 2 stars, and as it transitions between the twin stars, it's got a very rough magnetic pull. So what happened was there was an area in the north here that was completely torn from a planet, and is kind of a small satellite moon that's created of the planet itself. So it sits in an orbit between the planet and the stars, just outside of its reach. That area had a lot of moon elves on it, a lot of worshippers of the moon. So now when you go into the game, and this happened like 5,000-6,000 years ago, when you go into the game, you're going to see a lot of references in the moon elf culture to the ancestors on the moon. And we're not talking about the actual moon of Estermere. We're talking about this kind of satellite moon that tore off of the planet itself. And that's what you're seeing here is a great tear in that area. So there's kind of a void here where the land structure, all this stuff right here, I know it's on the map right there, but it's going to be gone, or we haven't decided, maybe even hanging over on a cliff or something. We haven't actually decided what to do there. But yeah, it's a little something about our map. There's a lot of good shit with this map. I'll be excited when somebody finally comes in and creates a professional version of it, because it's gonna be gorgeous. I love it. Game's massive. Game's gonna rock. Switch over here. Where am I? There we go. Oh, you can kind of see my organization here. I'll give you a sneak peek. Good, you can't see the address bar. This is just a snapshot of the organization of our entire ordeal here. You can't see all the way over. There's one more row right here. That's one more row of stuff. All of our departments, all of our information. There's all kinds of shit in here. We've got quite a bit of data on this shit. All right, which has to mean something, because every time we bring somebody into this game, they get absolutely ecstatic about the game itself. They love the project. They love the organization. They love the company, and they stay. So we're doing something right. All right, so I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else as far as that goes. So if you got any questions, let me know. I'm going to run through the basics of my exit here, though. So again, we're always looking for programmers, obviously, until we're not. 2D creature modelers. If you've got any kind of talent with 2D creature model, it doesn't have to be like a precise anatomy or anything crazy like that. All right. It just needs to be 2D creature modeler with a talent. Stick figures it's not going to be sufficient. We do have creature design documents ready to roll. We just need a dedicated 2D creature modeler coming into the team. We need somebody for servers, and I mean everything, to help us set it up, maintain it. We had 3 people at this point interested, and one is still in the process of a divorce. One of them disappeared. He wasn't actually a part of it. He showed some interest, was a friend of the company, but he disappeared. And the other one, I don't even fucking remember who it is. It's been that long. So I don't think we were ready for servers at that time, and he just got frustrated with being brought into the team and not being ready for it. So, and then people for Children of the Centauran. If you're interested in helping build a card game, it's a lot less needy and intense than an MMO. But it is a project that is, again, unfunded. The whole company's unfunded, that we're pushing towards funding. This is going to be one of the 2 out of 4 elements that we're going to utilize to help fund the company, the game, the company, and everything we fucking do. So, yeah, I'll probably forget in a few minutes. All right, so that said, if you got any talent at all, head on over, man. We picked up some sound engineers or people for our sound department. I think we grabbed 4 or 5 this week. We had a lot of talent from the sound team come, and it's been pretty exciting. They sit in our Discord and create everything. It's awesome. Night's Night, if you're watching this, I know you're coming back, bro. I'm excited for you to come back. You can deny it for a few months. I'm all about that. I know you're coming back. All right, so thank you for coming to the last podcast of the year, 2016. The next podcast, 2017, should happen January 16th. Should be prompt, should be on time, and should be pretty fun. Thank you for watching. For more information or to help support the game, we've got our Patreon link down below. Click on that. Consider providing a little bit of support. Tell your friends and family about it. If you know you got friends who are going to love this shit, talk to them about the game design, man. A lot of people, they get distracted by the idea of only seeing evidence that a game can be built, that they don't realize that the importance is actually the game design itself. Without game design, it doesn't matter if you can fucking build a game, because it's still going to be a shitty-ass fucking game. So talk to your friends, talk some sense into them. We got our Facebook links down below, Twitter link down below, Sacrament Reddit page is down below. Check out our website. Hit up the newsletter on our website. Get informed before anybody else does. We've also got our forums on there. The forums are locked down. The information on that is on the forums. $1 per month for 10 months. Doesn't have to be consecutive. Or $10 outright gives you permanent access to the forums. Volunteer form down below if you got any talent, any friends that got any talent, any friends who are looking for work or in college, want to put some shit on their portfolio, send them over to the forum. This is an excellent project for them to get a lot of fucking experience with. And then the Sacrament Roundup on our Facebook page, or sorry, YouTube page. Should probably have YouTube as a link over here, huh? Yeah. I think I do have YouTube as a link down below. Maybe not. Maybe I do. Where are you? I do. Okay, so I've got YouTube below. It's just not on my document here. Where the Sacrament Roundup and this video will show up. Sacrament Roundup happens on the Fridays. I'm not doing a podcast. I don't know if they're doing any more roundups for this year. I want to say it's over, but I haven't talked to the team, so I'll get some information on that for you, and I'll tweet something out, Facebook something out. If it happens and we talk about it, it's going to wind up on Twitter or Facebook most definitely. So at the least, hit those pages up. If you're not a forum kind of person, it's fine. Hit those pages up, give it a like and a follow, and we'll send out a message at least once a week, maybe, if I'm feeling it. When I can get a fucking dedicated social expert, that'll be... Okay, so Mist is here. They do have one more roundup for this year. If they have any more than that, I'm gonna tell them to go fuck themselves and go celebrate the damn break. So you heard that right here, Mist. After next week's, no more roundups for this year. All right. So that's everything. If you got questions, hit up Facebook, Twitter, forums. Hell, you can send me a damn email, layintham@gmail.com. It's all over the place anyway. It's not like it's a fucking rare email address or some shit. All right, I think that's it. I don't have anything else for you. I've got to get ready to go watch Star Wars Rogue One with my kids. Our seats are shit, but the seats in the fucking theater are badass, so I don't think the seating's going to matter too much. We'll find out. Later. Love you guys.